Bang Bang here from the RPG shooting team. I'm here with the Glock sucker today, and we got a new pistol released from TandemKross. It's the Kraken. Stay tuned. So Chris, release the Kraken.
Okay folks, so here we go. We have the new TandemKross Kraken complete pistol. We got our hands on this last night, and we just want to sit down and do a tabletop talk to you about what's going on with it, how it's built, and give you a comparison to another type of a race gun. So we'll unbag this thing and get you a look at it. So this one was sent to us for us to evaluate. This is exactly what a production model would look like. This is what you'll get. This is a complete gun. This is a gun from TandemKross. It has their proprietary lower. This Kraken is what it started out as. Their build started out as this. It's an aluminum lower for the 2245 series. In this one, since it's a complete gun, this has all TandemKross parts in it. Trigger, internals, TandemKross grips, the charging ring. The only thing on this gun that's probably really factory would be the bolt itself and the upper receiver, the Ruger part of it. As far as race guns go, it has everything you want. We've got thumb ledges, we call them gas pedals, we talk about that. One for the safety, one for your thumb up front. We have a charging ring, gives you easier access to charge the gun on the line. Rails come right on the gun. This is a Ruger rail. This is the one that's reversible, so you can attach all your optics to it if you're going to run optics. These Hive grips are G10 panels with the rubber inserts and the flat trigger. Now in my opinion, all decent modern pistols that are used for personal defense or some type of competition need to have a flat trigger. These reduce the trigger pull length, they reduce the weight, they give you a better perception of the feel of the trigger, whether you're target shooting or whether you're speed shooting. Beyond that, a lot of TandemKross stuff you're probably familiar with already. Their Game Changer Pro Compensator, and they did have an extra add-on here that I see now has their name on it. I'll see if I can show it to you more. Their front sight, and it now says TandemKross on it, and it is truly a gun that they built. This looks like a Ruger rear sight. Other than that, this is a complete gun. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this gun and compare it to the gun that you have to build yourself. Remember, this is a complete gun ready to go.
This is a Mark IV lower, and of course, the add-ons were this right here. So the upper is actually a Volquartsen LLV upper, and it has their compensator on it, a Volquartsen bolt. Or the other thing I do like is the extended mag release on that. At first I thought maybe it would get in the way, especially like I would accidentally hit it and the magazine would come out, but so far just in holding the gun and getting a grip on the gun, that doesn't seem to be an issue.
Well, let's talk about this for a second, Mike. Money. Let's talk about money. Your gun has an optic. This one is obviously just has iron sights. So subtracting the cost of the optic you bought to build that gun, mind you, we had to build it ourselves. What kind of money are we looking at?
Oh, I'd have to pull the receipts out, but you're talking well in excess of $1,400.
Okay. So this gun, without the optic, from TandemKross, is listed on their website for $1,150. And this is a true race gun. It's ready. It's built for rimfire shooting competitions, for speed shooting competitions, mostly for shooting steel. And I'm sure it'd be good for other things. We're going to kind of look at that when we do our evaluation video and we start shooting the thing. If something goes wrong with this, you're going to have warranty support. You're going to have support from the manufacturer. Mike's build here is every bit as good. It's a good gun. The difference is that if this gun breaks, he's on his own. There's nobody to send it back to. So between him and I, we would have to find a way to fix the thing. So when you take a normal Ruger, if you've got a Ruger Mark IV or Mark III, that's your kind of thing, and you put all these parts on it, because you can buy all these parts from TandemKross too, If you put all these parts on them and you get you a good running gun and something catastrophic happens, you drop it, you break something, something comes apart, you have some kind of a malfunction that you are not able to fix, and you got to contact Ruger, they won't work on it. As far as they're concerned, the warranty's void, or at a minimum, you're going to take all these accessory parts off of the gun and send it back to Ruger, get it repaired, and then you get it back. So that's a huge problem. So when you buy systems like this TandemKross, or if you buy a complete Volquartsen from them, or other systems out there, you know, you have warranty support. When you build your own, you're on your own. For some of you, that's not going to be a problem. When you're like me, you tinker, you build, you know what you're doing, it won't be a factor. But there are some people out there that just want to be able to buy a good quality gun once. What do we call it? Buy once, cry once. They want to buy it one time. They want to be able to go to the range with it. They want to be able to use it. And that's where I think this is a good option in the market, because 90% of the people that buy this gun are going to run it with a red dot. Well, all you have to do is clamp the red dot right on this thing and take it to the range and zero it, and you're good to go.
So folks, one other aspect of these guns that we noticed, so like on my gun, since it's a Mark IV, to take it down would be just strictly this. You're going to have to come back here and pull that off, and the gun pulls apart. I will tell you, and just because this is a Mark IV lower, I've broken 2 of these. This is the weak link on this gun.
Well, let's explore that a little bit more. On the TandemKross system, what they did was, in their aluminum lower, theirs uses a screw on the bottom that you'll have to access to take it apart. It doesn't have the one-button takedown system. That's a little bit of a disadvantage because it's a little bit slower. However, there's some other advantages to it. One thing that I've seen on some of the Mark IVs, even from the factory, the 2 halves sometimes are loose and sloppy. They don't lock up very good. And there's different options you can add to the frames to get rid of that slop. On the TandemKross build, on their concept, they use a tension screw right here. So we take this screw and we back this out. What's going to happen is I'm going to be able to take this gun apart just like I would what he did with his Mark IV. And it doesn't work a lot different. You do apply the safety like you would on the one-button takedown. So my safety is on. Once the safety is on, I can take this thing apart if I can take the screw out far enough. And now it breaks apart. So you have your Mark IV advantage, this easy to get to, easy to clean, lower and upper, instead of the old way of taking it apart. The 2 improvements, what Mike was getting at. One, on this, you'll see on the inside, this is what holds the upper on. That's what goes to this tensioned screw. Also, TandemKross is now replacing this part. You can purchase this from TandemKross. They're making an enhanced heat-treated one that will stand up to more than what some of these Rugers have. For those of you who've had a Mark IV, have probably seen or heard about some of these breaking, like Mike said, we're on 2. This item, let me see your gun there, Mike, let me see your frame. This item is one of those Ruger problems I talked about. When this broke, they would not send us the part. They demanded that we send the frame back. So we had to take all these parts out of the frame and send it back to Ruger to get this one piece replaced because it snapped off on the inside. That's one of the things that we're talking about, why you might want to consider buying versus building. So let's talk more about what comes with it, or what's inside. So the usual stuff on the outside, no different. This is a TandemKross part, so we'll look at these 2 guns. I'll lay them here and we'll turn them around for you and kind of get you an idea of things. So here's a Ruger, here's the TandemKross Kraken. These thumb ledge, Stripling Custom Gunworks. These 2 safeties come from TandemKross. Now the internals on this gun are mostly Volquartsen and some Ruger parts. On this gun, the internals on this TandemKross are 100% TandemKross. All their parts are in here, or at least I'm pretty sure it's 100%, don't hold me to all that. It's their parts, and I've never seen before, till today, what they have in their trigger system, they use something different. And they have this interesting thing in here, they call it the blast shield. And this blast shield covers up where the hammer and the sear engagement are, keeps some of that crud out of there. But that's their trigger system, that's their internal system to give you that better trigger. So it gets away from the magazine disconnect that the Ruger has from the factory, makes the trigger pull much lighter. And that's what your internals look like. Other than that, pretty similar, nothing, real different. But you didn't have to do it yourself. It showed up this way. And if it breaks, you call TandemKross on the phone, they'll take it back. Or I bet you, if anything, they'll probably just send you the parts if you don't want to bother sending it back. But they're going to take care of you, just like these other gun companies that we use, like Volquartsen, and we can name some other ones. But when you have a factory gun company standing behind you, as a good company, you're better off than if you build on your own, especially if you're relying on someone else to build it for you. You're kind of stuck out in the cold.
So something else to consider, Chris was talking about the blast shield. Well, anybody who's shooting rimfire knows that rimfire is very finicky and can be real cruddy at times, especially in humid weather or damp weather, excess of crud, etc., etc. Multiple people running the gun. That's a big thing. So I think that little added blast shield that helps keep a lot of the gunk and the residue and all that trash out of there is a big plus added factor.
Well, something to notice is you saw me reassembling this thing here. This thing is extremely tight. It's tight to put back together. When it locks up tight. I was amazed at how much I had to press on it there. I thought it was misaligned. So when you tighten this thing up to put it back together, we're just going to tighten it up. Put a slight amount of tension on the screw. And as you can see, I didn't tighten it very much. This gun is back together. It's ready to run. All is good. A little teaser for you. In the evaluation of this in the future videos you see, we will be attaching a red dot to this. But first, we're going to evaluate it as an iron sight gun out of the box. And as far as that goes, right now, as of today was kind of cruddy outside, so we're not going to be shooting today. As of today, right now, this gun has been through what Mike and I call our pre-flight check. We went through it, made sure it's clean, made sure it's ready to go. This gun is going to get shot tomorrow. We're going to have some video of it. We got to get it zeroed. And then we're going to start shaking it down, get a lot of ammo through it, and get you guys a look and see, can it take it? Is it good? Is it accurate? Is it worth the money that you're going to spend on it? It's a big investment. If you're a serious shooter and you don't want to spend the money screwing around, this is an option to consider for sure. TandemKross is catering to the race gun market. I can't stress that enough. If you're the average shooter, you go out and shoot, plank on the weekends, whatever else, maybe this ain't for you. But if you're out there and you're competing, shooting, even if you're just a moderate competitor, you're a beginner, you do it once or twice a month, but you go out to the range and you watch all your friends and they got, guns that look like this and look like this, and you say, well, I want to build one and I'll buy a gun and I'll put this part on it this week and that part on it next week and buy this and buy that. Let me tell you, after 20 years of doing this with guns and being around these guns and working on them, they work. That system works. It will get you where you want to go. That gun right there took me first place in the Rimfire Challenge Championship locally a few years ago when I dropped mine and broke the optic. That gun's as good as he says it is. I'm guessing this one's going to be too. The difference is I didn't have to build this one. This thing had to be bought a piece at a time, had to be put together a piece at a time, and just like all the things we've always done. It's great,
Cried multiple times with guns. So if there's one valuable lesson to be learned out of this, and Chris has heard me talk about this numerous times, I'd rather cry once and get it done and over with, because knowing what I know now, I could have bought at least, just off of some of the guns, as an example, I could have had 3 Krakens and 3 Volquartsens with all the tinkering and messing around and getting this and getting that and not working. I'd rather buy a proprietary gun system straight from the manufacturer, backed by the manufacturer, and have a whole lot less headache. And in the long run, you'll probably find out that you're going to spend a lot less money.
Okay, so I brought the trigger pull gauge, and let's compare a built race gun to this gun, because one of the key things we always want to look at is, a race gun needs a good trigger. A good performance gun in general needs a good trigger. Okay, so we've got this pistol. We're going to compare the trigger pull from this built gun to the TandemKross pistol. So on this one, I got 1 pound, 15 ounces is what I got on here. All right, so we'll just go with 1 trigger pull, that's enough. So 1 pound, 15 ounces. Here's your pistol back, Mike. So now we got the CK pistol. We're going to compare the trigger pull on this. I can tell you that it's going to be very light because of this flat trigger and where the contact point is going to be. But let's find out. £1 pound, 9 ounces. That's from TandemKross. You didn't have to do it, you didn't have to build it. It's 1 pound, 9 ounces. 2 race guns, one you build, one you buy. They both have sub 2 pound triggers, what we consider the standard in our race accuracy performance pistols.
Stay tuned. If you like what you see, like, comment, and share. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to us. And thank you for watching.
See you guys on the range.